All right, Alan, tell me
Okay.
about Exhibiting Forgiveness.
Okay. So, Exuding Forgiveness is in theaters now. It is one of the films that played at Sundance. And by the title, you can figure out what the theme is. It's forgiveness. But Terrell is an artist who is haunted by his painful past. Mostly a lot of trauma that occurred in his family, and especially with his father, who is today homeless and a drug addict. And so he is constantly waking up with nightmares, with stress about an upcoming art exhibit that he's supposed to put on, and he's finds himself with creator's block, and a lot of it has to do with his childhood, his growing up, and it is basically his journey to find forgiveness, especially for his father, who is himself still struggling with drug addiction, and who is looking to better himself, to get rehab, to recover. And it is this kind of cat and mouse between father and son as they seek forgiveness. I'll say this: two things about the film. One, forgiveness is a topic that is not in the minds of the nation, and I think, or in the national conversation.
Right.
And I honestly believe that forgiveness is the one thing that can heal the world altogether, because cancel culture is exactly about attacking one another. It's not about allowing people to let people forgive people of their past, to not hold on to grudges, to not always look for faults in people, but to recognize that we're all imperfect people. And that's what this movie does. It just recognizes that we are imperfect people, that we have been hurt in the past. And one of the major steps to growing and maturing as a human being is to explore our past, understand our past, and forgive those who have hurt us. And so, uh, the other thing I like about this movie is this subject. Based on the poster, you might think it's about social justice and reparations, but it really is about being human. So it is not. There are woke elements, but this is not a woke story. And ultimately, it tries to do a good thing, and that's to better ourselves, forgive people, don't hold on to grudges, and move on with life. I will say we could talk about the film now, but I do want to talk about Sundance, which is where this came from. But this one, I will give it a recommendation. I don't think it's the greatest movie ever, but I think there's enough to connect with to make the story interesting. But it is a very indie film, and it feels like an indie film. There's not a lot of production value here, except for the artwork.
Well, so you give it a bare recommend.
I give it a recommend, but not. I would like to give it an enthusiastic, and I can't do that.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
go to comments here.
Well, actually, you want to let's do comments, but I do want to talk about Sundance.
Talk about Sundance.
Okay,
and
let's
then
talk
we'll
about
go to
Sundance.
comments. Sorry.
Okay, so Sundance is approaching us. I got the invitation. I've not yet filled out the invitation because Sundance is, it's in trouble a bit. But the reason I want to bring this up is I attended the last Sundance Film Festival. Did it online. Didn't have access to a lot of things. This is one of the movies that I did see at Sundance, but I was looking at it, and Sundance from 2024, back in January. These are the films that came out of Sundance that have hit theaters. A Real Pain, which is premiering soon. I'm sorry, coming to theaters soon. Love Me, which I've not seen, but stars Stephen Yeun. The Outrun, we reviewed 2 weeks ago, and Steven Soderbergh's Presence. These are the major films that came out from Sundance back in January. An entire film festival, one of the top film festivals. And, we've talked about it over time, but Sundance is slowly becoming irrelevant to the point now where it's like I almost forgot to apply for Sundance this year because I know we're not going because the costs don't justify the benefits, and B, the online feature, for me to do it virtually, I'm only able to see a limited number of films this year, and so it's almost going to be as if we're not covering Sundance this year.
Well, we will cover it in the
Yeah.
limited sense, virtually, but Sundance isn't the significant discovery festival it used to be. It
Mhm.
just isn't. And I do believe that they've leaned so much into one side of the political aisle that they've gone the extreme that way.
Mhm.
And that means they only champion certain types of movies. And um I don't know. Like I really wasn't excited about this. I know it was coming to theaters. I had a chance to see it. I'm glad you did. But yeah, this is my enthusiasm for what Sundance used to be is
Mhm.
now gone. And by the way, they are moving Sundance from Park City to some other city.
Yeah.
They've
Well,
they've
they are exploring their options, but Park City is still in the mix. Let's put it that way.
Right. So they've got all these other cities they're getting bids on. So Atlanta was one of them. I don't know
Mhm.
if it's still in contention, but it's sad to see, but I feel that they have the kind of risks that they used to take are they're not taking. And it's sad. It's sad. They're really, and even film festivals overall for independent filmmakers are less important part of the equation. They help for sure. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but there are tools. That's why I go to our interviews channel to watch. There are tools where you can get your movie out there without having to be vetted by a festival.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
mild recommendation.
Yeah.
Don't
But it
don't
again is just this is one of the few films that has found major theatrical release coming out of Sundance. And yeah, there you go.